You've got a fire in your belly, a passion to serve, and an insatiable drive to contribute. You know that if you can just get your message in front of the right people, you can change lives. But where to start? There are so many options, so many moving pieces. You get bogged down, overwhelmed, frustrated, while the burning desire to serve others consumes you. I know, I've been there. And these days I bring life-changing impact and value to people's lives through the creation of books, funnels, online courses and coaching programs, and virtual summits. This is the Call to Serve podcast. I'm Tim Cooper, and this is my journey. I used to play in a band many years ago. I started in my early 20s, and for a number of years we had regular gigs in pubs and we did private events and wild times, especially the after parties with the other band members and some groupies. But eventually the band broke up, the members went their separate ways, and for a number of years after that, we used to get together with some other band members and we'd reminisce, and we'd like to think, wouldn't it be great if we could have those times back again? But we knew that we could never recreate what was, that those were memories that were created in the moment, and no matter how we tried, we could never recreate those times again. And we were blessed. We were blessed with so many great memories. And even to this day, 35 odd years later, I still look back at some of those times and smile, and it makes my heart warm. So they definitely were great memories, but could not be recreated even if we wanted to. So why am I saying this? Well, I mainly work with wellness professionals from all different modalities, and what's happened in the last couple of years with the pandemic has really changed the face of that industry. With new laws, regulations, legislation coming in, it has really impacted a lot of these people. And now they've got two choices. They can either march to the drum of the government and the bureaucrats and the regulatory bodies, or they can change their path if they don't want to be under the thumb of the bureaucrats. But the point is, they can't have both. Now they've got a choice to make. And a lot of them, they get into these Telegram groups and all they're doing is complaining about how bad things are and how unfair things are and how they can't work and they're not making any money, and they're just falling into this pit of negativity. And why? A couple of episodes ago, I spoke about the law of resistance, and what you resist persists, and the more you push back against something that's inevitable, you're just wasting energy. I've spoken many times about the law of polarity, that for every positive there's a negative, for every negative there's a positive. To every up there's always a down, to every coin there's another side. So while people are wallowing in self-pity and misery and telling themselves and others why they can't do things, nothing's going to change, is it? Nothing's going to change. And look, I'm the first to admit, I've been there. I've been there in the pits of misery. I've been there in the pits of depression. And nobody could help me either. They could say things, they could be supportive, they could offer advice. But nothing they did or said made any difference until I made the decision to change, till I made the decision to pick myself up and pull myself out of that situation and bring about a change. Why waste your energy on things you have no control over? Like whether I agree or disagree with all the changes that have been made to the laws and the regulations, legislation, mandates, that sort of stuff, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because what I think of it or what I believe about it isn't going to change what's happening. And so why should I waste my mental energy worrying about something that I can't change anyway? I should be spending my mental energy and my creativity working on ways that I can move forward. You see, when you're wearing that veil of negativity or looking through the world through that negative frame, it doesn't matter what's happening around you. You won't see the opportunities. People will feed you honey and all you'll taste is vinegar, because people can give you solutions and opportunities and positivity, and that will come through your filter and it'll be flipped upside down and something will be negative, because it doesn't matter what's happening. You are just in a negative frame and nothing is going to change that. So for these wellness professionals who are wallowing in misery and self-pity and feeling very hardly done by, whether I agree or disagree with the situation, the point is that's the situation, that is the fact, that is what's happening. So now the point is, instead of trying to fight a system that you cannot fight, trying to go into a battle you cannot win, and expending all that energy and getting absolutely nowhere, it's time to pivot. It's just time to just do a course correction. Sure, you may not be able to practice in a manner that you used to practice pre-pandemic, but I'm sure that there are skills that you have that you can repackage, change your approach, work within the law, and still serve people. And when somebody comes to you with a solution, a suggestion, an idea of how you can do that, instead of complaining about how broke you are and how you can't afford it or how people should be giving you that assistance for free, you should be looking at ways at how can you take advantage of that solution or suggestion and put it to work and bring about that change in your life. That's probably one of my biggest frustrations. And I've got to take the same medicine. I can't spend my energy and creativity trying to convince somebody they should change, trying to force a solution down their throat. I can only lay down what options and suggestions and things they can do to improve their situation and to bring about a change. And then whether they pick that up or not, that's totally up to them. And I've done my part. I've tried to help. And if they take the advice, if they pick up the solution that's being offered, good. If they don't, well, maybe at some point down the track, they'll be able to pick themselves up out of their depression and their negativity and make a change. Because you can't bring about the change in the other person. No matter how much it hurts when you see somebody in that tailspin, especially when you've been there yourself, and so you can really relate and your heart goes out to them. But you can't do anything to change them. You can't do the work for them. They've got to make that change themselves. So the message for the day is, if you hold on to the past, you're going to go nowhere fast, especially if there's been a major shift. And that's what's happened in the world in the last 2 years. Everything's changed. And the laws, legislation, regulations have been brought in place that it is not going to go back to the way it was. No matter how much you want it to, it is simply not. So why waste your energy trying to change something you are powerless to change, to fight a battle you have no chance of winning? Why stay broke? Why stay out of work? Why stay unproductive? Pushing back against the inevitable when you can take your life into your own hands, bring about a change, do something different, learn a new skill, or take a skill that you've got and apply it in a different way so you can continue to move on and serve people. That's my message for today. And I know for some, I might have lost some listeners. It might be a little bit hard, but I'm just trying to keep it real. You can't go through life sugarcoating stuff. You can't go through life saying it's going to be okay if you're in a position, if you're doing stuff that is detrimental to you. You just can't pat something in the back and go, oh, that's okay, things will get better. Things will not get better until you make a decision that things are going to get better. It's in your hands. You cannot rely on other people. You cannot rely on the outside influence. You cannot rely on the world for things to get better. That has to come from you. You've got to make that shift. You've got to make that pivot. So that's it for today. Sorry about the rant. Or maybe I'm not so sorry. Maybe it's just things have just got to be said, because things have changed. The world is very different. A lot of people are in very bad situations. Everybody is being impacted, right? So while people sort of sit there, in their little pits of misery, complaining about how bad things are for them, well, guess what? The universe didn't just open up and just drop a whole lot of misery just on you. The whole world is feeling the impact of what's happening at the moment. And we've just got to work within the frameworks that are available, play the card that we're dealt, make the best pivot, make changes, see how we can move forward, see how we can remain positive. What is the positive to this negative? There is always the other side. And that's what you've got to look towards. So, if you're watching this on YouTube and you found this information useful, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button and the little bell. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Got any feedback or questions, please drop them below. If you're listening to this podcast on another platform and you like the show, please follow it and give it a review. If there's a way for you to reach out to me on that platform, please do so. Otherwise, I'm always available at tim@timcooper.au. That's tim@timcooper.au. And you can also visit my website and access all the previous episodes at timcooper.au. And until next time, you take care.